Happy Wednesday, everyone. I'm Clayton Allen, host of the Day Trading Plumber podcast and founder here at Allen FX, where we try to help as many people as we can get consistent in the Forex markets. So I just launched my online trading courses over at allenfx.com. So if you want to copy my trades manually on a signal service, or if you want to learn more about my strategies I use on my own live accounts every day, jump on over there. I got a link in the notes below. So if you're new to this channel, every Wednesday we go through our support and resistance levels that we plotted last Sunday. If you want to see last Sunday's setups, it's probably the video or two right below here on YouTube. But yeah, jump on over, check it out. Every Wednesday we go through, we see if those levels are holding or if we got any midweek to end of the week plays, trades that we want to look for. All right, let's jump on the charts. I do apologize. I'm having issues, a little bit of audio or visual issues to get my little face on here like I normally do. And, I just got frustrated and moved on. But let's start with Australian dollar, Canadian dollar. So I got a little bit of a look, a little bit different look to my charts. Let's go to an hourly this week. So one thing that I'm trying to do is when price squeezes in between these two inflection points, really try to play off of those points and putting my alerts a little tighter. So charts are going to look a little different this week. Let's get rid of this. We don't need that. We don't need RSI. All right. So what we have here is price came all the way up into our resistance zone here that we have plotted on our daily chart. And now you can see we're kind of in a consolidation phase. And I'm going to be playing short-term trades off of these two inflection points where I have my alerts. I do think overall price might start to run bearish because we're at that strong resistance zone right here on the daily chart. So I think, if we break past that level, I'm going to be playing down. If we break above this inflection zone level, I'm going to look to see if we retest the backside of this resistance zone. It might look for a longer term trade. You can kind of see a little head and shoulders pattern here. Let's go ahead and turn on our pivot points. That way we have those in our back pocket here. So you can see the pivots up here, and we've kind of bottomed out on that S2, or we got a little bit way downside to that S2 level as we start crowning the top. Interesting note is we did break below the 200 EMA. So that's why I was saying I really I feel a lot more bearish on this pair. We've hit a strong resistance. We broke below the 200 EMA. So I am bearish on that pair. Australian dollar, Swiss franc. Okay, I got my two inflection points. I call them make or break points, however you want to call them. And we're in a little bit of an uptrend. Price action's in a little bit of an uptrend. So I'm going to see, I look at horizontal lines a lot more in depth than vertical or these vertical trend lines. So I'm just going to get rid of that. But you can kind of see we're starting to trend up. So we really want to be bullish, if anything, up until this inflection point. But I'm going to wait and see what happens at these points. Australian dollar, JPY. So I have this inflection point right here, or make or break, only because I want to wait until price pops down below it. What is that? Let's get rid of that. So I had a top. We busted through that top, but we quickly came down to retest it. More than likely, we might see price get up into this resistance zone, and then I'm going to be looking to sell from up here or looking for a strong breakout at that level. I'm going to go ahead and put that a alert in now. There we go. That way I just don't miss it. Australian dollar, New Zealand dollar. Okay, same thing. We had this pop up. We are in that resistance zone now. So good time to start looking for a smaller time frame type sell or a good breakthrough. Lots of divergence posting on this. So it already tested it. So if we look for that double top confirmation, we might just get it there. Price shot back to R2. Now I would look for, why does that always happen? These things always pop up right where I need to be. I'm going to look for that double top and then that crush down. And like I said, guys, these are big picture views. A lot of my trades are zeroed in. I look for these same support and resistance on a 5-minute or 3-minute chart for my entry. Again, if you want more information on that, so here's an active trade that we put on in the channel today, in my signal service channel, and we came into some really good profit. We saw a head and shoulders pattern on a smaller time frame. We broke through some of these strong these levels, and then we're in a good positive trade. These are my take profit levels. Yeah, so now it's about managing that open trade. Here's another active trade that is in profit. You can see we got our 2 inflection points. We have our daily resistance up here. So we have really good upside potential. We're hovering right around the 200 EMA. So, you know, we're going to play off of these areas. Now we're in the managing trade side of things, which a lot of people look past. It's just as stressful as looking for the trade. All right, our bullish zone is down here where we had this nice divergence. Getting close to the bearish zone on the higher time frames. We went past R2. We came back to R2. You guys know I love that trade, the blow through back to it. Now, you know, I want to see what price is going to do at this level. And then I'm going to make up my mind, buy or sell from there. Look at a smaller time frame for that confirmation. Swiss franc JPY, we busted through this level, and now we've retested it. So, you know, we've touched the pivot. We busted through this little inflection zone I had here, and now we've retested it. So that's the probability play right there. It's forming right now. Euro AUD. So we're testing that inflection point right now. And you can see I put a little bit of a channel. I'm expecting this pair to kind of consolidate right here. But I'm going to look for a breakout of this level right there. Let's add an alert. Let's add an alert there. Get all crazy, guys. I'm getting all crazy. There we go. So that way we don't miss it. But I'm expecting sometime in the Sydney. Oh, look. We just triggered it. Probably a little too tight there. We will be looking for that trade. That's why I have it red. We're kind of in the middle of our 2 inflection points on Euro Swiss franc. We just tested this inflection point, and we're kind of in the middle here now. So that's why I have it yellow. Nothing really to report there. We shot past this inflection point. I have my alert. I'm going to look for it to retest and look for that extension long up to that resistance level that we have on that higher time frame. Euro NZD. So again, if we zero in on these 2 inflection points, the basically support and resistance, guys. I'm just not trying to put any bias to them. Okay, I think lately I've been getting too biased too early and getting a little overzealous. So I'm switching things up as the markets always demand us do. Um, but you can see prices right there. Again, Euro NZD, Euro AUD. I'm expecting some action right around the Sydney Open or even maybe even here at the U.S. close. Euro US dollar. So yes, I know I shorted it. Oh my God. But we're in two. I'm actually in two trades. I took a trade from up here, a small position, and it added to it here. This is another trade we put on in the channel. Um, all of the trades today are positive. So if you want to get those signals, jump on over to Allen FX. Sign up for the Journeyman Signals. I do an hour-long training every Thursday. It's well worth the $20 a month. Promise you. So got our bear zone up here. We're in a positive trade. Things are just starting to stall out. So that now, again, we're in the managing trade. Here again, we're in Euro Canadian dollar. It's another positive trade. We took on a break of that smaller inflection point. Got our TP all the way down here on this 1 hour inflection point. British pound AUD. We're kind of in the middle. So this is a good example. We have our long-term bullish or higher time frame bullish zone. Price came down, stalled out on the 200 EMA, but we're really in the middle of really definable inflection points here. I mean, you could call this, smaller, but I just don't want to force anything on these pairs. Here we're pinned against this resistance. We came down to the pivot. We broke past it, retested it. So it tells us price might just start to fade all the way back down. We might have a decent reversal here. I want to see if we get a retest of this former resistance here. And then I'll probably play long off of this. But where we're sitting now, you can see on Sunday, we really were looking for that to drop, and we'd be in a really good trade. But I think we're gonna go bearish even longer on that pair. British pound, Swiss franc. So you can see here's a trade we've already closed. We played short off of this double top type play here, and back down to the pivot worked out quite nicely. British pound, JPY. So we're kind of backed up against a resistance. We're getting really close. And you can see we're starting to form a pretty good hourly chart sideways channel, right? We're consolidating. So these are going to be where we want to look for these breaks. So I'm going to put alert there. Okay. Going to put an alert there. And, I'm just going to want to see what price I want to see before. It doesn't mean I'm going to take a buy or sell from here. But with us being this close to a higher time frame resistance, I'm really going to start to look bearish in this zone, in this area. And, if we break above it, there's not a lot of upside. But if we bounce off of this, I really love taking these sell trades from the top, see what happens here, and adding to it. Puts me in a power position on that sell trade. British pound USD. So you can see we've kind of double topped right here. So now we can kind of shrink down these. Let's just get rid of that big old thing. We can kind of shrink down these inflection points. And this is when I start to really zero in on where I want to trade from. See that? So we're starting to consolidate. I want to see what happens at these levels. So we can quickly add alerts. And bam. So now we're kind of just trapping price. British pound NZD. So you can see we have a trade here that went horribly wrong. Can't win them all, right? But we're backed up against this resistance. Starting to be able to see a smaller, we're pinching it right here. So, I'm going to put an alert right there. I want to look short. So I want to catch where we break through. I'm really trying to stick to momentum plays during these crazy volatility periods. My reversion of mean type strategies have just kind of dismaled out lately. So I'm really trying to focus on momentum plays. So you can see we have our bullish and bearish zone. We've broken those zones. And now we're kind of, this should get switched. Whew. There we go. That's more like it. So now we broke it down this. I want to play shorts off of this area here. But we're kind of in this consolidation right now. So we want to kind of see when price traps itself like that. It's a great setup. It's a great setup because the bulls and the bears are fighting. Someone's gonna win, and we want to jump on that train. So I'm gonna put an alert kind of tight. I kind of want to be bearish because of that resistance there. Look, it already tagged me. I'm going to turn this one red because I might take a trade here in a minute. NZD CHF. Here's another trade. We were playing off this resistance. That one went bad. We got out of it. No biggie. But now that we've hit this inflection zone here, right? We're in an obvious downward trend. So I'm going to want to play short if we come back up and test that. I like that. This kind of just let price be noisy. But if we have two good supports right here, we definitely respected that level. And then we finally broke it. We probably should have been in a sell trade off of that. But can't catch them all. So here we had a winning trade. Didn't quite go where we wanted to, but we closed it out yesterday off this level right here when we saw price action tell us to. And then where we're sitting right now, guys, is if we zoom out, we're kind of hovering the pivot. We're nowhere near our make or break or any sort of daily. Jeez, I hate when that happens. Let's just get rid of this. And let's just zero in. I want to show you guys how I kind of when price smashes itself in like this, gives us a good perspective that when we're in those smaller time frames to look. But we're in the middle of no man's land, so really we'll just be forcing a trade. We're kind of we got a lower high here, so we're kind of see this turn of that trend just a little bit. Not enough for us to get too crazy, but I really want to look at that level and this level. I really want to see if we start to bounce in between those. This is an obvious kick to the balls, false, because you had two good points here. You broke through. If you waited to sell on this retest, which is a great trade, you got a little bit of profit. It came back up and said, just kidding. So, I mean, that is just the markets, guys. But now we have a really good level that we want to see what price does at. USD Canadian dollar. I know a lot of people got stuck long, got long this pair and just got beat up. We don't, I could probably move this bearish zone. I've been kind of slacking on my charting, big picture charting this week. But that's why we do this video, right? We take a good look at the big picture, see if what we had plotted on, let's just get rid of this, see what we had plotted on Sunday is still holding true. And you can see right here, this should have been a really good sell. Really good sell because we busted through that. Realistically, this should be a bearish zone now. But I'm not going to do that because I'm going to find that next level for this higher time frame, which we don't have one unless I go, let's just go to weekly. There we go. I'm just going to call this pivot level, which pretty much is the yearly pivot, guys. We're getting really close to that yearly pivot. I'm going to call that the bullish zone. Then we're going to go back down to our 1 hour and try to see if we can sandwich price in. What's price action telling us? Well, we're pretty close to that yearly pivot. So we have a lot more upside potential than downside. But I'm really not going to get too crazy until we bust above or retest that inflection point on that. So I'm going to put the alert there. There we go. USD Swiss franc. We're hitting a good bottom on the 1 hour. If we kind of zoom out, where's our higher time frame? Must be gone. It's gone. Well, you can see we were looking for a bounce on Sunday. We got that bounce, but it's double bottom now. So I'm going to call this bullish. And I'm not necessarily bearish until I see what happens up here. Pretty good breach there. I'll put the letters in later. So we're backed up against support on a higher time frame. If we go down to our hourly chart, we definitely respected it. We have divergence. It's pretty close to the S2 on the weekly pivot level. So I'm going to look bullish, but I want a little bit more, right? It's going to be kind of hard for me to go bullish on this pair. We are at some really good levels to do so, but this is when a lot of people get caught. I'm going to look for another confirmation of this level before I really get long and try to go big time. There's really no shorter time resistance except for maybe there. So if I go long, this would be pretty much going to be my take profit. We didn't quite hit S2, so I would expect it to maybe shoot down, touch that before we head up to the pivot. But you never know. Lots of divergence. This is a really good indication that a big turnaround's coming. USD JPY, let's see. We had a really good bullish bounce. Let's go up to our... I've been doing a lot of back testing and goofing up my charts after hours. We're looking for on Sunday that to come back down. It looks like it's starting to, but this is a hard pair. This is a really hard pair. We probably could call that our bullish support. So we want to see what happens there. We're getting a midweek, mid-month inflection point right there. But I'm not going to be a big seller until we get up here. Why do I always pick the wrong one? All right, so now let's drop down to the hourly. Let's see what we got. If we can't pinch price in, well, we kind of broke. Well, might be a pretty good time to short this. If I make that pretty thin, you can see we broke down. This is the frustrating part about breakout or momentum plays. A lot of people play them, so there's a lot of people and algorithmic traders looking for those really obvious points, looking for that breakout, and then buying up, driving price up, stopping everyone out. That's why we want to look for the retest, which we're doing right now. So we look for that retest, and we look for that confirmation that it's going to continue down. But I like this sell trade. Got a lot of downside potential. Yeah, I think it's prime. Right for the Asian and Sydney coming up in the U.S. close. So I'd be looking short on this pair. All right, guys. Hopefully you're enjoying these videos. I'd love to hear your comments. Love any questions. Make sure you check out my podcast. I got a link in the thing below. Let me know. We're really proud of it. We're getting over 30,000 downloads. Actually 15,000 total. Yeah, we're shooting for 30,000 by the end of August, which is well on that path. So if you want a little bit of, we try to have fun, and we try to pick topics that are current. If you want to check that out, let me know what you think. Head on over to the link below. Check out the podcast. All right, guys, have a great week, and let's go make some money together. Over and out.